There are certain things that I feel like are just a given that you have to agree with it. One of which is like democracy. I don't agree with democracy. I just don't think it works. For example, I know some really stupid people, and I don't mean that like in a nice haha way. I mean they're just thick. They're just stupid, and you just say to them things, about like general health, like not drinking vegetable oils, and they're like, "Oh, what's wrong with vegetable oils? Nothing wrong with it. Otherwise, I wouldn't sell it to you." Their vote matters just as much as yours and mine. So, okay. Anyway, this isn't about democracy. But another thing that is just generally accepted as obviously we've got to have that, is religious freedom. Now, religious freedom is something that I feel like people have always said is a good thing. But again, I don't believe in it. I just don't. And, you can hate on me, but why should I? Why should I believe in it? I think what really needs to happen is... let's say we have Christianity. Let's just pretend in our heads for a minute that this is still a Christian nation. It's not really, but let's just say it is. Okay, so everyone in this country is Christian, and then some people want to come in, and they're of a different religion. Instead of saying, yeah, well, we're an open society, why don't we just look at, the things with a religion, they have to, or not have to, but almost all of them, to my knowledge, I think all of them, have a book or a scroll or something like that. They have something that they all go by. Religions aren't, word of mouth. Not nowadays, anyway. So why not just read it? They've got a book that says, right, okay, this is what we believe in, and then you can just read that. So... if it's, say, like, I don't know, Buddhists, they're not, technically Buddhism is not a religion, I get that. But, you can look at what they, read their teachings and stuff and go, yeah, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah, if you want to come in and you're a Buddhist, that's great, you can do that. If you're a Hindu, just read it and just go, alright then, yeah, okay, that's fine. Okay, 5 of you can come in, I don't need 6 million. Anyway, getting distracted. But then, okay, what happens when you read their book and it talks about, you can beat your woman so long as you don't leave like a permanent mark. Oh, you can marry a child so long as she's had her first period. All these different things, and you read them and it says like, oh, we fight the disbelievers wherever they stand. Push them into the, what is it? Push them into the street. Don't be friends with Christians and Jews. What happened? Why would you read that book? I don't understand. You read this book, you read all these different hadiths, and you go, they believe in stoning people for being homosexuals. Should we let them in? Yeah, why not? No, I'm sorry. I no longer believe in, religious freedom. I just think the idea of it needs to be scrapped, and everything needs to be objectively criticised. And if it can survive criticism, then... at that point, yeah, fine, whatever. Would I rather everyone just be a Christian? Yes, I absolutely would rather everyone be a Christian. But, I live in the real world, and I believe that, okay, if they want to be a Sikh, Hindu, Buddhist, I don't know, maybe they want to be a fucking Jedi. I don't care. I would try and maybe say, one way or another, try and push them over a little bit, say, look, this is Christianity is great, blah blah blah, but I'm not going to cut their head off. I'm not going to try and take over other nations through infiltrating them and having more births than the natives. But that's exactly what's happening to us right now. And yet, because we've got our heads so far up our arse, and we just say, oh, I believe in religious freedom, though, it's completely destroying the nation. And you see these massive gatherings where they get together and they all just pray in the street. There's a mosque on every corner at the minute. There's like 2,200 mosques in the UK at the minute. They're not praying in the street as some sort of celebration. They're doing it to assert dominance. They're doing it to normalise it. That's why they just pray in the middle, like, not even in the middle of a closed street. They block traffic to do it. So, I don't know. I cannot wrap my head around why we've got such a suicidal mindset. We all insist on, religious freedom. It's such a great thing. I'm just fed up saying it's a good thing. Can we just scrap that idea and just say everything, Christianity included, everything needs to be criticised, you know. And one thing I cannot wrap my head around as well is when there's like, say there was rape scandals in the Catholic Church. First of all, everyone that was involved, why don't we just hang them? Why don't we? You know, it literally says in the Bible. Bear in mind, Jesus throughout his whole life was very peaceful, and yet he said himself that anyone that turns the little ones, i.e., like children, away from him, as that is to take away their purity, to fucking molest a child. It's better to have a millstone tied around their neck and thrown into a river. And yet we go, oh, it's okay, we forgive you. But no, anyway, getting sidetracked again. What I am saying is, we're very open to criticise them. We're very open to criticise Catholics for that, and we should. We should. I'm all for it. We should. But what I'm also saying is, why is it that then when there's a Muslim rape gang in the UK, and when you hear about the things that they're saying in the inquiries, it's horrendous. And then, what was it? Labour literally voted against having an inquiry for it because it might push negative stereotypes. What are we doing? Why are we doing this? This is like beyond religious freedom. This is defending something that is indefendable. So I don't know. But basically, I'm very eager to hear what your opinions are. So let me know.